Got another dream. Been on a roll lately with the dreams. Don't ask me where all of this is coming from. If this is my new dream status now, or what the case is. I've done so many dream recordings, and I've had so much video recording content that my phone is actively warning me that I don't have very much. I have like a limited number of minutes left that I can record new video. And this phone has 128 gigabytes of onboard storage, as well as a 32 gig SD card. Well, that should tell you how much I've been recording. Anyways, on to the dream. In this dream, I think first and foremost, in the beginning of the dream, Herman Miller decided that their workforce just wasn't cutting it. They told all of their retirees from over the years that based on their results, they were getting better work out of a 4-day work week than their new workforce working 6 days a week. So they calculated everything out and they offered all of the people who retired like $10,000 and like a instant double whatever they were making salary to come back and be employed for at least the next 5 years. And pretty much all of them came back. So with that, I got kicked out the door. They gave me I think they gave me $10,000, like a severance package. But it was like $10,000 minus tax. So it was like $6,900 or something. Which I was so distraught and so mad about, because $6,900 is not much. Hang on just a second. I gotta pay attention. Okay. So immediately I got fired. We were kind of like trying to look at the positive from this, that I didn't have to work at that awful place anymore and I could get unemployment. So we decided we were gonna go on a trip. Oh, that was gutsy. We decided we were gonna just wipe the slate clean and just for 1 week go on a trip. Well, the trip we were gonna go to was Florida. So that got, we got to the airport and they said, yeah, your trip's been canceled because Florida is about to be underwater, pretty much. And I realized that with the trip being canceled, it was actually a good thing, because I had accidentally brought my concealed handgun with me into the airport. And if I had gotten on the plane with it, or walked through the metal detector with it, because I don't think we even made it inside. I think they sent an alert out to all the customers, and we were in the parking lot when they said your flight's been canceled due to predicted hurricanes. And we were just like, well, now what do we do? We were pretty sure we were getting a refund, but the whole thing cost us a lot of money, and that we weren't going to see that money until they issued the refund. So Emily and I just kind of talked it over, and Mom said, and when I say Mom, I'm referring to Emily's mom. I refer to her as Mom as well. Mom said she'd really love to see the boys. And I just said to Emily, well, why don't you just go with your mom and the boys and just go do something together? And Emily said, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Well, for some reason, because I just was not going down to Florida, because Emily was gonna go hang out with her mom, for some reason that meant that I had to go stay at Lisa's house for the weekend. What the heck? Okay. I turned on the defroster, and it's blowing also down below on your feet, and there's a plastic bag on the floor, and it started blowing on the bag, and it sounded like I had a mouse or something skittering around in the truck. Anyways, I had to go stay at Lisa's with Ben and Carrie and Amanda, and I didn't want to go, which is funny because, like, I'm a grown man. If I didn't want to do something like that, I most definitely wouldn't have to, but it was just kind of one of those things where, like, no, you have to go do this even if you don't want to. Well, I get there and it's the original house at Greenbrier, not the new one that I believe she lives in now. I get in, Amanda opens the door. Hey, Jared, just like old times. Which Dan and Amanda's kids were not there. Ben was there, and Russell and Carrie's kids were not there. And I get inside, and the place is dusty and dirty, and it stinks. And on the table, there was a whole bunch of disgusting, dirty laundry. You know how, like, if you get, like, a pillow over the years, it will turn yellow because of the skin oil. And then eventually it gets gross and you throw it away. And other, like, clothing, if you let it get grimy enough, it'll turn like gray and it'll stink. Not saying that I personally have done that, but I know for a fact that that's what happens, because I've seen it with other people and I've seen it on TV. I get in there and there's just a disgusting yellow, gray, stinking pile of laundry on the table. And Lisa is sitting in her chair eating one of these lean cuisine things. And she's like, hi, Jer. And I said, and I was immediately just mad at her. And I said, hey, don't you ever do your laundry? She's like, no. I'm like, whatever. So I went immediately to my room. Amanda was in there. And when I get back there, there's like glass all over the floor. And clearly, like, the window had been smashed out and all busted up, and there were like patched bullet holes all in the wall area, the far wall. I said, what the heck happened here? And Amanda said, well, this place has gangs now. So now that there are gangs that are recruiting new members, one of the things that they do for their initiation is to go find something and completely bust it up and destroy it to prove their dedication to the gang. So they had picked this side of the house. It was like they could kind of like, from the angle where they weren't visible from like any of the security cameras or anything like that. So while I'm sitting there, I don't remember when I did this, but I had placed a Simply Safe camera in the room, and I went to the motion history, and the camera had caught these 3 black men and came up with a sledgehammer and an axe. One of them had a handgun, and it was video of them just trashing this side of the house in full detail. I'm like, I gotta call the police. Give them this. And no sooner had I said that, and let me back up real quick. I had gotten a deal from like a pawn shop. They have like a parts bin, and it was full of like rifle parts and handgun parts and uppers and lowers, and there were a lot. The guy, he didn't want to mess with it. He didn't have time. Oh crap. And dead battery was getting it jumped on the side of the road. This guy didn't have time with it. He didn't want to mess with it. So he sold me the whole thing for like $400. Yeah, I had everything in a duffel bag. And there were like magazines in there with ammo. There was enough in there to put a rifle together. But I didn't have anything like sorted and put together. And like, if you're gonna put a rifle together, you got to make sure that the upper has a bolt in it. You got to make sure that like all the springs, like, you know, you have to inspect your parts before you assemble something. Especially to defend your life. You know, if you're planning on using a particular device to defend your life, you're going to want to test that thing, run the crap out of it, put some quality magazines in it, put quality ammo in it. But unfortunately, no sooner had I looked at this footage when all of a sudden three black kids, they were all black, the other guys were black, and so I figured this was like the same gang based on the colors that they wore and based on the fact that it was an all black gang, I guess. I don't know. That's what I figured. These 3 kids come up. They've all got guns. And I know they're about to blast the side of this house. The windows are wide open, so they can definitely see us. like fumbling around with their guns. They clearly had no idea what they were doing. But I was pretty certain they were going to figure it out. And Amanda, like I said, Amanda was sitting on the edge of the bed. I said, Amanda, run! And she just sat there smiling. Amanda, run! And the only thing that I could think to do was to rip open that duffel bag and start fumbling around looking for parts to put a rifle together. I found a pistol upper for 9mm. I found a 5.56 rifle upper and a 5.56 rifle lower. Well, I slap that on, put the two pins together, worked the bolt. Okay, it works. And I grabbed a magazine, and I'm doing this as fast as I can for dear life, because I'm about to get blown away. You cannot do that. Ran the stop sign. Oh my gosh. It was my turn to go, you jerk. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that minor outburst. I hate it when people do that. Part of me telling stories on the way to work. You're gonna get my road rage, and I'll try my best to keep it under control and not use any choice words. These people are about to unload on the side of our house with us in it. I'm screaming at Amanda to get going. She's just sitting there. And I finally get this rifle put together. And I'm trying to jam this magazine in. This magazine is full of like old ammo. The gun is like plastic, or the magazine is like a plastic piece of garbage. And I'm trying to get it to seat, trying to slap it in there and get it to go in. And like the bullets are like folding up and getting all jammed up. And I finally, like, it was kind of like a competition to see who could get their gun working first. These kids or me. I finally got some of the bullets to sit flat, seated the magazine in the gun, and cycled the action and put a bullet into the chamber. And I opened the window and pointed the gun right at the lead kid, and I was about to pull the trigger when, as soon as they saw me with the rifle, they all took off running. They're all terrified. I was very thankful that I didn't have to shoot. But then I'm like, how is anybody going to be able to live in this area with people just randomly shooting it up? And it seems like this house is the only one that's getting hit. Everybody wants to go hit this house, this spot. So I think I ended up calling the police, showing them the video, telling them what went down, and they were just like, we really can't do anything about this. We have no leads, we have no names, nobody's willing to talk to us. We wish we could say more or do more, but when nobody's willing to talk to us, unless we see it happen, or we have video like detailed video footage of it happening, we can't really do anything about it. They never leave any evidence. They pick up their shells. It's just a you can't win game. So I think I ended up leaving and just picking up something to eat and going home. But another really weird dream, and hopefully I'll have some more to tell. But hopefully there'll be some good ones in there too.